Parts of Europe on edge. The blazes are straining emergency services with persistent heat and drought, making the situation even more difficult. Deutsche Welle correspondent Thomas Sparrow joins us live from Berlin. Thomas, hi there. How bad is it across Europe right now?
167,000 hectares have burned so far across Europe this year. Over 1,000 wildfires here in the continent. It may be less than a year ago. 2025 was a record-breaking year, but these two figures are well above the long-term average, and this gives you an idea of just how big the problem has become and is becoming here in Europe. Some countries are more affected than others, especially in the southern part of the continent, so Spain, Portugal, Italy, France, Cyprus. But experts are warning that also other countries in Europe, especially further north, are also being affected by specific wildfires. So this shows you just how significant the problem is becoming. And there's one additional element specifically for this year. The wildfire season started particularly early in June. June was a very hot month across Europe. There was a heat wave here in the continent. We reported on the heat wave here on the program, and that's why basically experts are concerned about the potential impact of these wildfires, also the potential impact of a very hot and dry summer here in Europe.
Is there coordination, Thomas, between the European countries in dealing with these fires?
There is coordination, and in fact that coordination is growing. The European Union stressed that it had deployed its largest ever wildfire response presence in Europe for this particular summer, for the summer of 2026. Over 700 firefighters across Europe from 14 countries are being pre-positioned in regions, in countries that are particularly affected by the situation. In addition to that, European Union officials are also using technology to try and help be better prepared when it comes to potential wildfires that are coming. That includes, for example, using satellite imagery. That includes also using AI to be better prepared. So in general, there is an increasing sense from Europe that the continent needs to be much better prepared. In addition to that, there's also an emergency response system. So essentially what that means is if a country, let's say Portugal or Spain or France, are particularly overwhelmed by wildfires, then they can request immediate assistance by other countries in the continent. That just shows you that Europe understands that this is a problem that is not going away and that needs coordinated response in order to better deal with the situation.
Yeah, and it's not going away, Thomas. They seem to be getting worse as well. So what sort of money, effort, planning is going into prepare for future fire seasons?
European officials have stressed that wildfires are beginning earlier, that they are becoming also more dangerous, and that they're lasting longer, and that it's no longer simply a phenomenon that happens every now and then, but that is something that Europe needs to be prepared for every summer. And that's why, in addition to these response efforts that I mentioned, so pre-positioning firefighters, also having aircraft, helicopters ready, also using technology, they are focusing specifically also on prevention and preparedness. That, for example, includes a better land management, so helping specific regions to better manage their land resources, also focusing on recovery specifically for areas that have been affected by wildfires in the past. What all this shows you is that European officials have understood that this is a problem that goes beyond national borders. Okay, it is clear that maybe the first response comes from national authorities, but that if you look at this from a wider perspective, if you look at this as a problem that affects all of Europe, it needs specifically a coordinated response from European officials. And that coordinated response is not only once the wildfires have started, it's a response that needs to happen before the wildfires actually start. And that's why European officials are focusing also on that keyword, preparedness.
Thomas Sparrow, thank you.